Very much. All right, let's move straight to our final conversation. As is obtained in the lines of the former national anthem of our dear country, to serve with heart and mind. One of the greatest honors a man can have is in the selfless service he renders to his nation. In display of this, the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has noted that Nigeria is worth fighting for. The general, who made this statement while taking his bow out of office after the major military shake-up by President Bola Tinubu, served Nigeria with passion and dedication in the 2 years. Meanwhile, further military investigation into the alleged coup plot and the soldiers detained in connection with the rumored conspiracy to topple President Tinubu's administration. Okay, Mikhail, a very emotional and well-deserved farewell ceremony for the outgone Chief of Defense Staff, retired General Christopher Musa. First of all, talk to me. How will you describe the event, held in honor of this gallant Nigerian soldier?
It was a very humbling event. Well, first and foremost, let me talk about the claim that some money was moved from from the NDDC account. These are unverified news items going out that are in the public space. We have no evidence. I repeat, we have no evidence that money was moved from the NDDC account, and even the NDDC has demanded a rebuttal on that. What the NDDC managing director has already demanded. So we have to be careful so that we don't fall into a pit based on a story that we did not generate. Okay, now putting that aside, Christopher Musa acquitted himself very well as a CDS. Is probably, in recent memory, is the best Chief of Defense Staff that I have seen. And I'm grateful to God that even before his appointment, I publicly nominated him on Journalist Hangout as one of the best persons to hold, to become a service chief himself. And Lagwaja, I nominated them, on TV. And both of them eventually became service chiefs, and they did very well, because these are people that we interact with when we go out to cover the armed forces. So I'm happy that he has done very well. Last man standing from the 38th regular course, now handing over to somebody from the 39 regular course, who there are two of them left now, Oluyede and the Chief of Defense Intelligence, Uendeye. He too is of the Lieutenant General Uendeye. He too is of the 39 regular course. The CDS, the former CDS, was well brought up in the army, and he held some critical positions. Critical positions. For 18 months, he was the theater commander for Operation Hadinkai. And after that, he moved on to be the corps commander of the Nigerian Infantry Corps. We all know that the Infantry Corps is the backbone of the army. Yes. They constitute the majority, and they are the ones who usually take position. When the Air Force softens up an area, you need to put boots on ground. Yes. It is the boots of the infantry soldiers that you put on ground. So he and Oluyede have both been corps commanders of the Infantry Corps. The Infantry Corps is looking like the one veritable conveyor belt or training area for eventual Chief of Army Staff or even Chief of Defense Staff. So it's done very well. Commander of 73 Battalion and other key positions that is held in the army. And we also that he was trying to motivate the troops by telling them, look, Never listen to anyone who says, "Oh, Nigeria is not worth dying for. Oh, Nigeria happens to you, this and that." He's proud of his service to our country. And he said, "Come on, I have retired from the armed forces, but I have not retired in terms of my love for Nigeria. I will continue to show patriotism." And he was full of pride about the armed forces, about our troops, whom he described as people who have exceptional courage, resilience, and patriotism. He was like somebody who was in the biggest theater of war in our country. He could see firsthand the role that our soldiers have played. And he believes that today we are in good hands, that things will get better. He made one point clear, that defeat is temporary, but victory is permanent. So it was a rousing speech that he gave there. You know, this generation of service chiefs that have been asked to go, in my view, did very well. But you know, there's still a lot of work to be done. Look at the chief of naval staff. On the day that they were pulling him out, some of the officers and men were crying, and they were singing songs that this is our good father, this is our father that we are happy with, you know. So it shows that people appreciate what they have done, and it's the same way that people appreciate the job that the CDS has done. So General Oluyede, now he has his job cut out. I'm confident that he will be able to build on the successes that CG Musa recorded. In the area of troops welfare, they need to continue to make progress. General Musa tried his best in that area, improving food ration, cash rations to troops and operational funds for their upkeep. But generally, they need to build on that, and they need to handle morale very well, so that all of these stories about food that we are hearing, they can nip such things in the bud. They need to do their best to keep things calm within the barracks. We don't want anything that will tamper with our democracy. And these generals have a lot to do to motivate their troops very well and get them to submit themselves to the constitution of our country.
All right, then. Kolawole, the brand new Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, now, according to BKO, said he has his work cut out for him to build on it. But talk to me, what will you tell him?
It's a tough one, but the good thing is it's not new. It's only leaving the Chief of Admin Staff office for this. He's the most senior now. I think he's the only 4-star general now. And he has the experience that you can give to him, but I remember before he came on board, I was talking to one of the very, top officials too. So as and then they were looking at somebody with that competent experience who can take up the role of the Chief of Admin Staff, and his name stood out. And of course, clearly, he will still be there to do his job. And I think this is about the first time we're having in recent history. I don't know if it has happened recently, having double 3-star generals in the army. Two of them, the Chief of Army Staff and the Chief of Defense Intelligence. The Chief of Defense Intelligence. So this is the very first time, I think, in recent time that we're having that. Usually you have the Chief of Defense Staff as the 4-star, you have the Chief of Army Staff as the 3-star, then the rest 2 stars. But this time around, you're having the top guys there. So certainly they will do a very good job. And I also think that the CDI, is retained because of the rumor and not rumor, because of the job he's doing, actually. And by the way, I think I like the way Babajide addressed the news reports. That is untrue. That is very untrue. And I think the NDDC has already issued a statement asking for a retraction of that story, actually. And again, maybe I should just put out what we found out by ourselves, because, we're also trying to get facts when we heard, we heard some of these things. This is what happened. An individual was given a job to do. And because, of course, they can't just give him mobilization according to place. So they opened an APG with the bank so that when every condition has been satisfied, so that can be released, fund can be released to them in batches. But having the APG in place, the individual or the company went ahead to take a loan with that, using that APG as a collateral. That was what happened. Not that money moved from the account of NDDC to anybody. And now, I think if those who are writing have done their due diligence, this is straightforward. You can get that in a very short time.
Yes.
I don't think we spent more than 2 days to get all of this part. So it was one of those. It was after the loan was, was taken. So I think they traced one to one of, to one officer like that, a part of the money. And I think the figure is not even up to $1 billion. It's below $1 billion from what we heard anyway. I don't know if there are other facts, but from what we got in our own investigation, I do not think it is right for us to, to be petty with such a very sensitive matter. Okay. And by the way, I commended the Nigerian Army, I think, was it yesterday or thereabout, or 2 days ago? If you look at the way they have handled this professionally, I think the Nigerian Army deserves applause. Let me tell you this. Some are saying, they should have come out to announce that there's a how. Imagine if they come out to admit or to announce at the beginning. Number one, you won't even be able to make the necessary arrest you need to make. Number two, imagine the international headline screaming cool, fail cool stuff in Nigeria. That will not be, Nigeria does not need such optics for now. Imagine what that would do to your investors who are trying to bring in funding. That is not good for us. Now, imagine how that would strengthen some members of international communities who are already trying to support your neighboring countries in things like this. So I think the Nigerian Army has managed this one, professionally. I'm a communicator, I can say that.
All right, then. All right,
this is the most strategic handling of crisis that I have seen, and kudos to the men you've seen there, whether the present CDS, the CDI, even the outgoing COAS, every one of them, they've done well.
Actually, BK, in rounding off this conversation, how do you weigh in here, talking about the plan to topple the government? I need your opinion on this, your reaction.
Talking about what?
The issue about the toppling the government and the plot to topple the government. I just need you to just round up the conversation on this one.
These are early days. We need to know the extent of involvement of all the persons that are being questioned.
Yes.
Maybe it didn't even move beyond just thinking about it or talking about it. We need facts. And for some of us, if we do not have sufficient facts, we won't go out to say, oh, this is what I had. There's a lot of rumor, like the claim that the money was sent through NDDC and all that. This is unfair. For people like Dr. Buku, who are giving their best to the Niger Delta, they don't deserve to be tarred with a terrible brush like we are seeing.
No.
So, but I appreciate what the Army is doing. They are taking their time, and in the fullness of time, they will be able to produce a report about the entire exercise. But we have to manage things. Just as Barononuga said, it's the enemies of Nigeria who will be happy to be shouting on rooftops that, oh, there is a attempted coup, this and that, oh, they will have killed 100 people. When people hear such things, their blood will boil.
Yes.
So that's not what we want to see. True lovers of our country want stability, and they don't want any threat to democracy at all. And if there are people in the barracks who constitute a threat to democracy in our country, such blacklegs should be identified and sent out of the military And the jail is there to keep such people if they will not stick to their own mandate, which is the job of servicemen and women. If they won't stick to it, if they want to get involved in politics and they want to work with politicians to plan coup in our country, then such people should be arrested and then dealt with severely within the ambit of the law. This is my position on this matter.
All right then. Okay, well, I think it's a fine place for us to leave it. BKO, I can't wait to have you back here in Lagos. Kolawole Johnson.
Yes,
Thank you so much. Kolawole Johnson, thank you so much for doing this with us.
I can't wait to have you in Abuja so I can I can give you some blow in your tummy. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much for having this conversation with us. All right, and that's it on Journalist Hangout this week. Yes, you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangouts on Sunday. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.